The final day of August 2019 is also the last day of Anime August on my channel this year. I needed to find an anime movie to review, and here we are today with Mary and the Witch's Flower as the designated anime movie. The movie is based on the children's book The Little Broomstick by Mary Stewart and is Studio Ponock's first feature film. In case it isn't obvious for you guys yet, I always tell myself not to do a standard review without a spoiler alert for the audience, so here's the spoiler alert. Grab your broomstick because we're taking off. It means I'm going to start the review now. Hey, I'm Owen, the fiction fanboy, and here's my review on the anime movie Mary and the Witch's Flower. A red-haired witch has been seen trying to escape a place that caught on fire while having a blue flower in her hands. The witch managed to get away with the flower, but how long will the flower remain safe? That will be answered later. We get introduced to the main character of the story, Mary Smith, who is currently living with her Grand-Aunt Charlotte since Mary's parents are away. She tries to help her guardians and Zebedee, her neighbor, do chores, but doesn't do them right. A boy named Peter comes around the girl and wasn't being very nice towards her clumsiness or her hair. Two cats named Tib and Gib cause Mary to follow them, and they all see the glowing flowers from the beginning of the film. Zebedee tells Mary that the flowers are called fly-by-night, and they are only around every 7 years. Tib convinced Mary that Gib is missing, so they look for Gib. Mary saw a broomstick and grabs it, but a fly-by-night bulb got onto it and made the broom magical. It made Mary fly like a witch, and it took them to a destination that was hidden in the clouds, Endor College, a magic school for witches and wizards. The first face she gets to see in the mysterious land is Flanagan. You usually only see him when he sees Mary to talk to her about her broomstick. Mary then meets Madame Mumblechook, the headmistress of Endor College. She gives Mary and Tib a tour of the college, which has many different classes for those into sorcery. Dr. D is the chemistry teacher at the college, and Mary was able to turn invisible and do other magic in front of advanced students. The headmistress and teacher believe Mary is a protege because of what they saw, and turns out that the red hair meant that she would be among the best witches. While Madame was finding the paperwork for Mary to fill out, the protagonist has discovered a spell book behind a picture of the fly-by-night. Almost getting caught red-handed by Madame, Mary gives the headmistress a small piece of paper with Peter's address on it. Madame allows Mary to go home, but not for long, since Madame has kidnapped Peter. Madame wanted to make a trade with Mary, the flower for the boy. Sad to say, Madame didn't hold up her end of the bargain, and she and Dr. D put her in the transformation lab where all the failed experiments are held. Peter is also in the lab, as well as animals that have been experimented on, including Gib. The heroine found and used a spell to not only turn the animals back to normal, but also escape the lab. Mary and Peter try to use the broomstick to get away from the college, but Peter gets recaptured, and Mary promises to go back for him. The broomstick dropped Mary off to a cottage that no one currently lives in. Mary learns that Charlotte used to live in the cottage, and if you remember the beginning of the movie where redhead girl was flying away with a flower, yep, that. We now know that Charlotte was that red-haired girl. Charlotte wanted Mary to use the last of the Fly-by-Night's powers to return home, but Mary had to, and chose to, come home with Peter. After some setbacks from Madame, and the breaking of the broomstick, Mary finds the lab and sees Madame and Dee trying to do what they failed to do years ago. Make students, starting with Peter, more powerful than before. The experiment was another bust, and Peter was stuck inside a gelatinous monster. Mary once again used the undo spell to reverse the effects of the failed experiment, causing the lab to blow up. Mary and Peter fly back home. Mary got a bulb of the fly-by-night stuck in her hair and explodes in midair, thus making us believe the flower is no more. Also, both Mary and Peter are seen going to school, and the little broomstick is leaning against the wall at Mary's home. The visuals throughout the story make the movie look like a spectacle, and that's a nice amount of heart that was put into making this adaptation. I like how the phrase "little broomstick" is seen as a little reference to the original story's title, and those that have read the book will most likely have noticed it. Some minor problems I have is that I had to watch the movie with subtitles because I could hardly hear the characters speak, or it's just audio problems on the TV. Another small thing I would have liked to see is the villains getting themselves redeemed because of Mary, but it's fine the way it ended for Madame and Dee. Studio Ponoc's first movie was pretty solid, so I think it's safe to give it 4.5 out of 5 stars. I wish Studio Ponoc the best of luck for their future. I hope the studio can continue to follow in the footsteps of Studio Ghibli and make more anime movies in the future for enjoyment. If you want to see a magical anime movie, then I say you can watch Mary and the Witch's Flower to your heart's desire. Want more fiction? Then please do what my friends say, comment below, and follow me on Instagram for thumbnail previews and teasers for upcoming YouTube videos. Fiction Fanboy has finished this video. Everyone keep fantasizing, and good night-o!